Greetings and salutations, Pokemon fans. Back to another video. It's been a while, but it's mostly because after SPL, Black and White goes in, let's call it sleeping status, hibernation for a couple of months until Black and White Cup that's just started. We're in round 2, I believe, or 3 at most. But at least we're also having the Black and White World Cup, which woohoo! I played in it. Our team is out, sadly, but we are in the semi-finals currently, and I thought it would be fun to just check out what other people are doing in Black and White. So I picked the first 3 games from the pools. So if you go Smogon and check the thread, pull up the first 3 replays, they will be these ones that I'm about to comment on. Right. So the first one is Tokyo Prison against Crystal. Tokyo Prison used to go by Devin, so maybe that's a bit more recognizable as a name for some people. And both are pretty known on Smogon. Crystal, as far as I know, mostly plays Gen 4, and maybe Gen 3 too, but Gen 5, I haven't seen her around much. As for Tokyo Prison, to me, is more of a Fairy Gens player, but Black and White suits him well, I think. He's very aggressive, and this gen, you can be as aggressive as you want, because you have all these stupid mons that do 1 billion damage and run at 1 billion speed, so that's perfect for him. And let's look at the matchup. Okay, Politoed is on vacation, apparently. His sprite is, that's for sure, but this one is a Politoed. And okay, so Tokyo Prison has a older sample team. This is not even a sample anymore. It's that old and a bit outclassed by other rain styles. It's not outclassed offensively. I think the Yuto no Tandorus into Mamoswine is still very potent. The problem is defensive, because Alakazam just eats your team alive. And so that's why this type of rains fell out of favor a bit. But there's no Alakazam on the other side, so all is well in the world. As for Crystal, this team pops up quite, I wouldn't say often in tournaments, but you see it used sometimes. It's not a sample, but it's quite famous in a sense. And since Crystal is on Team Canada, this is definitely the baby's doing. He loves this team. So usually it's Sword Dance Hexcaller is Scarf Terrakion. Everything else is defensive. The idea is that you try to, I mean, it's the most standard balanced game plan ever. Wall the guys with your wall the opponent with your defensive pieces and win with offensive ones. That's just balance in the balanced team gameplay 101. And this team accomplishes it well, because Swords Dance Hexcavalry completely destroys most defensive teams. Especially if the Gliscor has knockoff, because you can knock off a Skarmory's Rocky Helmet, and then Swords and Sescaril can actually push through Skarmory. There's also strong paralysis support with Among Us and probably Slowbro too. And Scarterakion is very strong against super hyper offense teams, because you'll speed everything. Every single mon that boosts will be slower than the Terrakion. And you also have decent special defense, so even if you can make a few mistakes and you can still win against hyper offense, especially the modern variants with like Conkeldor. You have a Slowbro, so that's yeah, pretty good, I will say. If I would rather be Crystal in this matchup. Tokyo Prison, if you get rocks up without taking too much damage on Ferro and manage to force out things with Among Us, with Thunderous, sorry, and or Mamos Wine, then you can realistically win. You also have pretty strong called angles, because nothing here wants to get burned, right? Gliscor is the only immune, but of course Gliscor does not want to get scalded, especially if rain is up. Your only realistic switch in is Among Us, but then you can double into Mamo, or you can just force a lot of damage on it and eventually just push through with Thundurus or even Latios. But you need rocks up for this to work. So yeah, I would be careful of that. All right, let's get into the game. Politoed, good lead, but gets read by Crystal, who leads an Antar pretty strongly. Then you just go Mongoose, yep. And now, if I'm Tokyo Prison, I go Ferrothorn and then immediately back into Politoed and then again back into Ferrothorn, because you have to scout for HP Fire. And even if it is HP Fire, if rain is up, you take like 20%, so you don't really care. And as long as rain is up, even giving a free turn to Excadrill is not the end of the world, nor it is giving it to Terrakion. You have Politoed and Tentacle. Alright, then seems to disagree with me and just trades damage for a Power Whip. What? I think you just click rocks and then switch out. Power Whip is fishing for a mistake, but we're on turn 4. You don't do that usually. Like, what? Why? I'm very confused. I think. Oh man. Okay. Well, I guess we lost our only rock resist against the Terrakion, which may or may not end up catastrophic. Alright. Nice Earthquake. Slowbro took a million damage. Scouting the item to its Rocky Helmet. Alright. Thundurus. Alright, do you ice on the Protect, or do you think Crystal doesn't bother and Hardo switches out? Looks like she doesn't bother, but ooh. This is a good U-turn. Now you reposition well with Politoed. And then what? Do you just scald and fish for a burn? I guess you do. Yep. Okay. Yeah, no, you will. You have to tank the paralysis on Politoed. That's just how it is. Probably on Tentacle too soon. But first, a couple more attempts. Okay, this one goes well. Protect for extra free damage, always nice. Pandorus, very aggressive, but I like this. This is the right play. And now you have to kind of guess. I would U-turn, right? Ice does not kill Among Us, so you will just end up with paralyzed, which, yeah. Alright, that did 16%. Wow, Tentacle will just heal back to almost full, and what do? You go Tita, sure, but then you're switching in a Scald, or I guess not. But this Tentacle is max defense, almost, if it's the sample, which sure is. So you can stay in and just Scald. You get some attempts, like 3 attempts, it seems. 1, 2, this is the second one. Is it worth it to go for the last one? Probably yes. I mean, your opponent will just click rocks again. Okay. You're in a pretty good spot, actually. Yeah, you got Thundurus, sure. Alright, but now, what's the play? Any Thunderers? I Thunder. Ooh, Tyranitar. Oh, hell yeah. Right. Is this Costa Berry? No, right, it's Chopple. There's no way this is Costa in this team. Ooh, nice. Back into Politoed. Now, do you switch to Tentacruel or not? There's no point, probably, because your opponent can just sacrifice Tita on the spin. Yeah, probably for the better. Okay, now, what do you click? Surf, I think. You could drop the Draco, but nah. If you do that, then our opponent gets free spin and you don't have rocks anymore, which you still need rocks for a bit in this matchup. Back to Tentacruel. Let's go. If you got Tentacruel in on the Among Us and didn't fully para, you would have removed the rocks for good. Ooh. Oh, didn't poison, luckily for him. Right. Do you just ice, probably? Okay, Thunder, sure, one more round of leftovers. Do you Focus Blast of Glory? I will not. Okay. Tokyo Prison Wound. I think you ice here. Even Glasgow is useless, so it's likely to get tossed to the wolves. 1, 2. Even if your opponent switches to Terrakion, you're fine with it because you're not that far away from a potential late game Mammoth sweep here. There is still an Excadrill full health though, so probably doesn't super matter. Okay. Latios comes in. Very nice. On the Giga Drain. You drop the Draco here though. It's not great because your opponent then could set up an Excadrill angle, but what can you do? Arcandorus, this is an interesting one. Did it work? It did indeed. Does it Ice even kill? Oh. Looks like it did. Crystal reads it well and goes Terrakion. Okay, let's stop here for a moment. Right, so I'm in Tokyo Prison, and this is the spot. What's the play? Among Us is too healthy. It's at 70% after Regenerator, which means it switches in, takes 25, minus 6, Black Sludge, so minus 19. It will be at 52. Surf does not with KO. Okay. And so your best play is probably to just go Mamoswine and Ice Shard. If it goes if Slowbro comes in, it's okay. You can just switch to Politoed. Your other path is going Politoed and then immediately switching into Mamoswine, but does that accomplish anything? Probably not. Because you get to click Ice Cycle Crash on the Among Us. Slowbro will die in 2 hits because it's at 49% minus rocks 36. I mean, surely that's at least 20%, right? Earthquake did what, 46? Icicle Crash does. What's Icicle Crash base power? 85, so 127 slash 2, 63. Earthquake does what? 150? So you do 2.5 times less. So you will do like 20, like 18%. Okay, no, it's a roll. Okay, never mind about that. Okay, is it just ice sharding? You kind of have to, and there comes the Slowbro, but that's okay because you switch into Politoed, and well, click Scald, right? If you burn here, it's okay. It's not great still, because Mamoswine is not winning ever. There's an Excadrill on this side of the map, so... Oh, what's the play? I think you protect here. Okay, he did, but didn't go through. Very unfortunate, but also just the game, right? Okay, Latios among. Oh, nice read by Crystal and gets the poison tool, and that's game. This is just done. Yeah, it's over. Escadron wins from here. Oh, so does Terrakion. But I mean, the game is done. It's very hard to push from there, unless I don't know. The aliens abduct you. I guess that would be a lost condition for Crystal, but looks like there are no aliens willing to step into Canada. So, yep, that's the game. Um, all right, so I think the problem was the early game with Ferrothorn. That seemed a bit sketchy from Tokyo Prison. You need rocks up ace up, so yes, 100% go Ferrothorn on the Among Us turn 1, or turn 2, sorry. But then either you switch back into Politoed, or if you're really that desperate, you can click rocks and then switch out. That's fine too. What's not fine is to click Power Whip on an Among Us against a full health team. That just, I don't know. That should have never happened. That's it. Beyond that, both played well. Christie pivoted nicely around Thunderous, and Tony Prison got a couple nice momentum plays in with the Thunderous. So I think this could have been won much, like, not easily. You still need to play kind of as it did, but if preserved the Peloton with a little bit more conviction, I think it would have been better. Hey, we'll make mistakes, except me. So I understand. Alright, moving on to the next game. Oh, this one should probably be much faster. We have I believe this is a sample team from Karma, but even if it's not, it's like always the same stuff or whatever. This is double healing wish into Conk. That's the game plan. But Zidane has got a Reuniclus, which is offensive on this team, most definitely. Which means it may be Trick Room, which is pretty strong into this. But you can stall it around a bit with Giraci plus Spadef Lando. So there's also Volcarona. Volcarona, there's a Dragonite here, so depending on set, nobody else HP has Volcarona, except someone I know. But hey, who knows? There's also the fact that this team has no spinner. Zidane's team has no spinner. And what that means is that if you get rocks up, Dragonite loses half of its effectiveness, and so I'm not convinced that then it makes much sense. I expect Karma to win this one comfortably. Lead Lando. Do you need Lando? If I'm Zidane, I lead Brelum, and Brelum is a super offensive lead, and you just bullet sit on the Lando, and that's pretty strong. And even if you get it wrong, the only real thing that instantly kills you are Latias and Volk and maybe Starmie. Mm. But you can also lead Garchomp if you're like Sash Vortex, I guess. I'm not a fan personally. You lead Lando here if you're Karma, right? Exactly. Ice turn 1 and then Rocks turn 2. You need Rocks up. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, you have to do this. It's not glamorous, but U-turn. Okay, U-turn is fine. Now you turn and Golando. Yep. And then you go probably Conk and just click moves. Usually it's bulk up defensive on these teams, but okay, it is. Yeah, that did a billion damage. Okay, Brennan, relax a bit, mate. That's 50% on a priority, just like that, on a Conkeldurr, of all things. It is Trick Room, but you need to get a little luckier, because Latias will just tank it otherwise. But then... Conk? Not Oh, it kills, okay. Drain Mac. Do you just DD? Oh, it is Ice Punch too. Oh man, this is just game over, right? You have to SD here, but you take like 60%, 50. You only have 4 attacks because you have Life Orb. So unless you crit Volk and crit, actually Volk that might not need a crit because rocks are up. Okay, you need to crit Starmie and Rachi, which let's say is not. Oh, your quick attack. Never mind. Wait a second. Does Mag win? I would have personally sacrificed Scizor because I don't know how much damage Mech Punch does, but maybe he would have lived if he didn't take an extra Iron Head. I would have to calculate this. Maybe it's not happening, but Mag is pretty bulky. Well, you Bullet Punch and crit for glory. No, that doesn't kill anyway. Alright, this was a very fast game, but that's just how it goes with this. I think this was mostly a problem with the team. Also, did Garchomp not have Super Sense? I guess it doesn't really matter, because you will do the same damage, give or take, to the Lando anyway. This was a more of a Conkeldurr is very strong into me kind of deal. And yeah, that's just how it is sometimes. Pretty autopilot, yeah. Alright, last game of the day. We have Jakutzing against Seraph. I don't know who Seraph is. I know Jakutzing is Canadian as well, so I guess today we're big fans of Canada. Right, so what do we have here? Seraph's team is very black, like 2016 coded. Yeah, this will be a team you will see a lot of in like when during like the SM era. 2016, was it Sun and Moon? Was it still Auras? No, I think it was Sun and Moon. But yeah, it's a kind of team you will see a lot 10 years ago. One, it's very weak to enemy Alakazam, but that's just every team in the game. Two, it's very weak to spikes, which you may say, well, but Walter, look, we have four Pokemon immune to spikes, and yes, true, but also it's I never liked Tyranitar without spinner. I think it makes you too weak to Latios and spikes and some. But hey, you can bring your own and just win the speed ties. That's always a plan. As for Jack, we have a rain team with Landorus. Okay, and usually on this type of builds, it's Scarflando, and you try to push damage with Keldon Rain and or with Landorus, obviously. But you also have a stunning. This is a very aggressive type of team. I would rather be Seraph here anyway. Well, I have an Alakazam, right? And Sand and a Skermony for the Lando. But those could always go wrong, so let's see. Okay, we immediate Wisp, but fell for the oldest trick in the book, and it's Adamant Ferrothorn. Okay, Rotom was kind of necessary. Usually, the optimal play nowadays is to Volt when you're in front of the guy. Oh man, we're so behind now with the Sun team. Oh, Draco dropped. Never mind. This is a very strong turn from Seraph. Would be better if the Keldeo. The Rotom was mega dead. Okay, that's a specs Keldeo. I mean, 70% with a resistant move on a Latios? Oh, Skarmory. But the problem here is that you give a free turn to Thundurus, but you have to click spikes, yes. You have to put Kelly on a timer, even though I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the timer is even long enough for this to matter. Armzam. I guess it may be such Zam actually, so this is okay too. Just drop the Draco, man. Okay, you have to Draco again. It's not as bad as it looked after turn 1. Okay, here comes this guy. You go Titar, sure. Agility, don't care. No, this game is over, right? Because Zam does not KO Thundurus. Although Thundurus will need to hit Thunder in hand. So maybe it's fine. Okay, did it Thunder in sand. And now you just click HP Ice and the game is done. Okay, you go Skarmory and Whirlwind. It's done, but it's your best chance here. I think after you Draco the Ferro the first time, you have to switch out to Garchomp. Here. This turn, right? So your opponent, okay, nice pivoting. This is a very good sequence. Your opponent is forced to go Ferro here. They have no other play, so you can just Draco it, right? And here you have to not stay in, because if you stay in, what just happens, right? Thundurus clicks agility and you lose. So you have to go Garchomp probably here. You can go Skarmory maybe, but I think it makes no sense. It probably doesn't matter which one you go to actually, because whatever a Ferrothor dies to burn the next turn, and then your opponent goes Keldeo. And both and so you probably go Garchomp, right? Because I mean, it doesn't matter, but you take one less round of rocks on the Skarmory. That's about it. Which doesn't matter because Skarmory only has to to stop Landorus from just winning. This is a very desperate spot anyway, no matter what. But I think you go Garchomp here and click rocks. With rocks up, you only need like a crit and I don't know if it's not enough, but it's it's not instantly lost here, right? Although the big problem was the early game, like the first 2 turns, the third one really, that was a catastrophic one. Yeah, this game over. And we lost. Alright. Fun games. Well, this one, I don't know. Feel like I don't know who this Seraph person is. Looks like they were laddering for a PU ladder tournament, which doesn't inspire faith in their Gen 5 playing abilities. But hey, maybe it's just one of those games. The team loaded is very. It's something you will see Fincinator load in SPL in 2015, which take it as you will. Oh, I also loaded something similar several times, don't worry. But that was a while ago. I wouldn't do it nowadays. Or if I do, it's on ladder when I'm trying to just have fun. Yeah, that's it. That's That's 3 games commented today. Wow, I'm really overworking myself here. Alright, thank you for watching and see you next time.